Broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Here's your host, Andrew Romanella.
Okay? Just get the hell out of here. Nobody cares what you think if you're not a Mets fan.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another edition of The Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube.com/The Romanellas, Twitter X, Instagram, The Rome Show 1, and Facebook.com/The Rome Show. I am Andrew Romanella. I am your host. Welcome back to another week of The Rome Show. It is December 15th. 2025, 713 Northern New Jersey, 10 days away from the jolly Santa Claus coming down the chimney. It's a Rome Show Christmas. We remind you to go to the social media, the Rome Show 1, Twitter, X, and Instagram, so you can subscribe and enter into our latest giveaway. Look for the bright green post. Share that post. Follow the Romanellas on YouTube. Follow the Rome Show 1 on Twitter X. Be sure to be subscribed, and you have a chance to win next week, Monday or Tuesday, some Rome Show swag. We got a few people entered to this point. We've had 4 days of a Rome Show Christmas. We have our 5th day tomorrow. That is our second to last Rome Show Christmas giveaway. It's been a blast. Once we have all of our winners, we will send out our gear. It'll be like a post-Christmas hello. Thank you to the Rome Show. And it's our thank you to the listener as we end 2025, our 7th year behind the microphone. Kind of wild to see where we've come, but we'll save that for another time. Good show for the people today. Week 15, Sunday, National Football League. For a lot of teams, was a handle your business day. For some teams, it was a your season came to an end day. We'll get to that. Weekend's best, weekend's worst, as we do every Monday. We give you our favorite plays or things we saw this weekend, and the worst plays or things we saw this weekend. And then finally, my Miami Dolphins this weekend. This week, I meant to say, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. 6-7 Dolphins, 7-6 AFC North on the line, battling with the Ravens, who blanked the Cincinnati Bengals over the weekend. Big Monday Night Football game for the Dolphins, so we'll have to get to that as well. I urge you to comment on the show live. You can do that on youtube.com/the Romanellas. Hit subscribe, like, comment when you get over there. youtube.com/the Romanellas. The Rome Show 1, Twitter X, Instagram. That's the Rome Show, then the number 1. And of course, facebook.com/the Rome Show. All right. Monday morning quarterback. That means we go around the National Football League. Let's do that now. All right, people. Here we go. Let's get started on a Monday. Can't believe it. Weeks fly. It's nuts. Falcons at Bucks happened on Thursday. The Falcons beat the Bucks 29-28. Why am I telling you that? Because that relinquished the first place lead for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the Carolina Panthers. So the Panthers, they took on the New Orleans Saints yesterday. So you're like, all right, the two top teams, though at 500, it's hard to consider them top teams. But nonetheless, the two top teams in the NFC South are playing the two bottom teams. This is great. Well, Well, the Panthers lost yesterday to the New Orleans Saints, 20-17. They gave up a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. Well, they gave up a 7-point lead, gave up 10 points in the fourth quarter to lose that game. Tyler Shugg leads the Saints to victory in his fourth start of the season. Don't look now, but Kellen Moore and the Saints have won 2 straight. Okay? 2 straight against the 2 teams that were leading their division. And they are 3-2 in their last 5 games. I'm not saying they figured it out, but if you believe in the end of the season and what that looks like for your team, if you're the New Orleans Saints and a New Orleans Saints fan, you're a fan of what you're seeing. As for the Bucs and for the Panthers, they're in a knockdown, drag them out battle. And by the way, they play each other twice over the last 3 weeks of the season. So a lot of drama to be played down south in the NFC. The Bears, they slaughtered the Browns. Not a lot here. 31-3. I think Myles Garrett might have broken the sack record. But it's almost not even fun because the Browns are so bad. Okay, scored 3 points. Shedeur Sanders, worst game of arguably his career, I'm sure, if you look back on it, including both colleges. 3 INTs, 0 touchdowns, 177. Caleb Williams had a really good one. Didn't turn the football over. Let's roll. He had 2 TDs. DeAndre Swift, he's been, I believe, the difference maker for this Chicago Bears team this season. 935 yards on the ground, 7 touchdowns, averaging nearly 5 yards a carry. And I think he missed 2 games, maybe even 3. Nonetheless, the resurgence of the ground game for the Bears, the explosiveness, 142 total on the ground, 33 attempts for this Bears team on the ground, has changed the way this team has gone. If you look at Caleb Williams as a quarterback, I don't believe he's a top 15 quarterback in the league right now. And the numbers will say that as well, probably. But if you look at this Bears offense as a whole, there's a lot of weapons, and it's led by the ground attack. That needs to keep going. Bears are now 10-4. The Browns, they suck. They don't hold the first overall pick, though, because the New York Football Giants exist. They got beat yesterday by the lowly Washington Commanders, 29-21. Both teams were trying to end a losing streak. The Commanders were the ones that were able to do it. And the Giants, they fall to 2-12. By the way, they hold the number 1 pick in the draft. The Commanders, they improved to 4-10. Not much to talk about here. Jaden Daniels didn't play, and Jackson Dart didn't get hurt, but got pulled for a play or 2. Nonetheless, they both stink. The Eagles, they handled business against the Raiders, 31-0, as they should. I'm not going to get overly excited if I'm an Eagles fan here because you played the other worst team in the league. So the Giants are 2-12. The Raiders are 2-12. Both teams haven't won a football game since September or early first week October. So this is nothing to write home about. Is it great you held a team to 0 points? Without a doubt. Of course. Did it feel better to get a little bit more on path? Absolutely. But your running game still needs to improve. There's still something off there slightly with the offense. And when you play the good teams, can you beat them? We'll see. But it was a perfect timed Raiders on the schedule for the Eagles, who are on a 3-game slide, now are 9-5, and got some help on Sunday Night Football last night by the loss for the Cowboys. But we'll talk about that in a second. Another team blanked the division foe, and that was the Ravens blanking the Bengals 24-0. Joe Burrow, bad in this game. Joe Burrow's been bad in pressers over the last week. The Bengals, Coach Taylor, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, it might be time to blow this entire thing up, okay? You had your run there. You went to the Super Bowl. You lost to the Rams, and that was it. Because the only thing that's gone anywhere is Joe Burrow's hair, and that's been about 7 different colors. But the team hasn't gone anywhere. The team has gone backwards, in reverse. The Ravens, they've been They had lost 2 straight. They just get back on the winning schneid, and they put the pressure at 7-7 back on the Steelers tonight, who have a half-game lead over them in the AFC North. Derrick Henry, 100 on the ground, 11 carries. Big story over the weekend was the Chargers versus Chiefs game for multiple reasons. But the main one being Patrick Mahomes, season-ending knee injury, and for the first time since 2014, the Kansas City Chiefs are not going to the postseason, okay? Not only were they not winning their division, they're not even going to the postseason. First time in 11 years. So prayers to Patty Mahomes, major knee injury, and we'll see what happens with the Chiefs. A lot of questions to be answered. For the Chargers, they improved to 10-4, and I got to be honest with you, this is one of my favorite teams in the league because it's ugly as hell. Like, it's so ugly. Justin Herbert's got a broken hand. Like, they never play any game as clean or as good as they should. It always feels like there's major injuries. And I'm not even talking about Herbert's hand at this point, from the offensive line to the weapons, but yet somehow they find a way. This iteration of the Chargers has that little bit of grind, that little bit of dog, that little bit of mentality in them that makes you say, I kind of don't want to bet against this team. Because they don't go away. They're good. They fight. They battle. And so the Chargers, they win. They're 10-4 right now. And they are in a battle with the Denver Broncos for that division. They have won 6 of their last 7. And they've won 7 of their last 9. And think about what I just said. And they've been dealing with injuries up and down to wazoo. Here's some of the teams they've beat during that time. Chiefs, Eagles, Steelers, Vikings, Dolphins. So I don't know how you feel about that win schedule. I'm just reading off the teams that they have played. Monday morning quarterback continues on to New England, where the Bills came back from 21-0 down to defeat the New England Patriots, move a game closer to the AFC crown, okay, and push their envelope to securing a playoff spot. They might not be leading this division. They might be in a position they haven't been in the last 5 years, the Buffalo Bills. Not atop the AFC East on Week 15. Honestly, not winning, have secured the AFC East by this point in time, the way the last few years have gone. But they came back. They defeated the Patriots. They moved to 10-4. The Pats dropped to 11-3. In this game, Josh Allen, not a lot through the air, but enough. 193, 3 touchdowns, didn't turn the football over. James Cook was the reason. On the ground, 2 touchdowns, 107 yards, averaged 4.9 a carry, and was really good when he needed to be. Big time runs when he needed to be. And Drake May, good on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Trayvon Henderson, elite on the ground. Bad spot for the Buffalo D, 148, 2 touchdowns. But not a good throwing the football display. Couldn't get the ball to his weapons, Drake May. Not much Stephon Diggs. Not much Hunter Henry. No touchdowns through the air, 1 INT. Something happened after the first 15 minutes of this game because the Bills all of a sudden morphed back into who we all thought they would be. Played way better defensively. In the first half, 24 points given up for the Buffalo Bills. In the second half, 7. They figured it out. Their offense flipped that script, 7 points scored in the first half, 28 in the second half. Hasn't been exactly what we thought the Bills would be this year, but one thing has shown up consistently, and that's their ability to play late in games. So, again, as we talked earlier about the Chargers and their ability to not die, the Bills, besides the fact that they have that talent, we all think they're that good. They just don't go away. The Jags, they beat the Jets 48-20. The Jets need to go away. This season needs to end for them. Jacksonville, they want to keep this thing going. Trevor Lawrence, somebody that I have often criticized, one of our weekly show guests tomorrow, actually, Hockey with Rocky, has often criticized this quarterback as well. Trevor Lawrence has not been that good, okay, for the hype he got coming out of college. But right now, he's got his Jags at 10-4. Threw 5 touchdown passes against the Metropolitans yesterday, and in his last 3 games has thrown 9 touchdown passes to 0 interceptions. That's what you're looking for your former number 1 overall pick. Jacksonville has won 5 straight, and 6 of their last 7. The Jags, under first-year head coach Liam Cohen, figuring out and leading that AFC South division down there. The Houston Texans, they continue to roll. They beat the lowly Cardinals 40-20. CJ Stroud threw 3 touchdowns. Nico Collins, he caught 2 touchdowns. And Trey McBride, quite possibly the best tight end now in the league, gets left behind in Arizona because they stink. He had 134 and 2 TDs. The Texans now, they have brought themselves all the way back from a terrible early season start, and they are 1 game behind the aforementioned Jacksonville Jaguars in that AFC South. Phillip Rivers could not lead the Colts. Did the best he could. Really. I mean, you got to give the guy credit. He looks like he's been driving a school bus for the last 5 years, but nonetheless had the Colts with a missed field goal away from winning that football game. But unfortunately, they could not. They lost 18-16. Jackson Smith and Jigba and Darnold, offense, no bueno the last few games. But a bunch of field goals, a bunch of stops on defense, and the Seahawks improved to 11-3, but a lot of question marks there with their offense. Might cause me to move them a little bit in their power rankings. We'll see. Stay tuned 2 days from now for that. The Colts, Phillip Rivers, here's what he finished with. 27 pass attempts, 18 completions, 120 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Jonathan Taylor, 87 yards on the ground. They didn't break 100 yards rushing as a team. That's why they couldn't find a way to win this football game. But, I mean, Indy did not look as atrocious as you thought they would. I just don't see how that's a better option than Riley Leonard. That's just my opinion. We'll see. Both sides have a lot of question marks. But now that the Colts have lost that game, it really changes things for the Ravens, changes things for the Texans, changes things for the Dolphins tonight and the Steelers tonight. Whoever wins that contest, because it just really opens the door more for those last wild card spots. The Niners, they handled the Titans 37-24. Brock Purdy, great game. 3 touchdowns, 295 through the air. You know the deal. Christian McCaffrey had his stamp on this game. The 49ers, quietly 10-4. I think people, because the injuries, the holdouts, all the drama, I think people might have forgotten about this team. Well, they're really, really good. Finally, to finish our Monday morning QB throughout the National Football League, it's a fun time. It really is. The Cowboys had the door opening over the last few weeks, starting with their defeat of the Eagles a few weeks ago. Chances were there. 6-1. The Eagles, 8-5. That's how we started this week. At worst, 9-5, 7-6-1. You're still alive. There's still a chance to win the NFC East. And then last night against the Vikings, who are now 6-8 and really don't have a chance to make the postseason, but are figuring it out with J.J. McCarthy and the weapons there. In the last 2 games, have won 2 straight, and all of a sudden, look like kind of a legit football team. And they might have ended the Cowboys season last night. Dak Prescott did not throw for a touchdown. Only threw for 294 yards. That's how you know the Minnesota defense did a really good job. J.J. McCarthy, 250, 2 TDs, and INT. Not much of a running game for the Vikings, but like I said, they improved to 6-8. That is your Monday morning, Week 15 QB here on The Rome Show. As we tell people all the time, you want to sponsor that segment, write in, DM us, do all of those fabulous things. We take a commercial break. We come back. Weekend's worst, weekend's best here on The Rome Show on a Monday. Stay with us.
Thank you for listening.
What is one thing every great leader has in common? They challenge their people to not stop at the first right answer. Tighten the Lug Nuts is a leadership book that will teach you how to move past the first right answer with entertaining and detailed examples founded in real-world concepts and experiences. Accelerate towards your professional goals with Tighten the Lug Nuts, one of the best leadership books available.
Yeah, it's The Rome Show. Welcome back in. It's a Monday, December 15th, 2025, 7:34. We're live. YouTube.com/The Romanellas. Twitter X, Instagram, The Rome Show 1. Facebook.com/The Rome Show. So many ways to get the show. We're talking National Football League to start the show. You missed it. The Rome Show podcast, wherever you get your podcast. We asked the people to just subscribe to the show and, of course, share it with a friend. Romanella Rocky writes in, still don't believe you can win a Super Bowl with Trevor, but it was a great fantasy day with him. This is the older Rocky Romanella. We have multiple Rocky Romanellas on the show. I wish I knew exactly where that sounder was right now, but I don't want to mess this entire thing up. The elder statesman Romanella, big fan of what quarterbacks can't win a Super Bowl. Not necessarily which ones can win a Super Bowl, more of a fan of which ones can't. But I think I got to agree with him here on this one. I have not seen enough good from Trevor Lawrence in my time of watching him since he was drafted first overall out of Clemson. And I need to see it in a big moment. He hasn't really been there in his career. So though these last 5 games, this last 7-game stretch for him and his team has been good, I have to agree here with the elder Rocky Romanella in terms of Trevor Lawrence not being able to bring the Jacksonville Jaguars to a Super Bowl. You want to comment in live, Instagram, Twitter X, The Rome Show 1, Rome Show then the number 1. You can also do it on YouTube as well. It's time for Weekend's Worst and Weekend's Best. We are going to start with Weekend's Worst today, and we have 4 of them for the people. 3 of them are accompanied by a video. Okay, if you got some Weekend's Worst and some Weekend's Best that you want to write into the show, please let me know. I'd love to know. Our first Weekend's Worst goes to the New York Football Giants. Yes, the New York Football Giants. Why? Because you're at home. You're trying to end a losing streak. You actually have a quarterback that people are supposed to be excited about. You fired the head coach that everyone wanted you to fire, and you lose by 8 to the lowly Washington Commanders. That's just the first thing. But more so than that, okay? Nobody, not one person, no one was in the crowd. You might have well as written attendance, the teams, because there was not one person that wanted to be at that New York Football Giants game. And I don't blame anybody. Having had the chance to go and turned that chance down, I don't blame one person for not wanting to go watch this team. But the New York Giants, they deserve to hear the trombone all day, every day, because what's going on with this franchise is sad. The New York Giants game was the worst thing I have seen. Your second is actually, it could be a best. Okay, because it was the worst for one team, that's the Pittsburgh Penguins, but it was the best for another. That was the San Jose Sharks. Your second weekend's worst goes to the Penguins for blowing a 5-goal lead to the Sharks. Here's how the game winner looked.
Klingberg could have been a 2-on-1 if they connected cleanly. Celebrini's back on. What a play by Klingberg. Over to Celebrini. Score! One of the most amazing comebacks in franchise history.
That stinks. On Pittsburgh
Sharks
ice.
win.
Yeah, they do. Could you just watch that one more time?
Back
Through
on.
the
What a
leg.
play by Klingberg. Over to Celebrini. Score!
Oh, man.
One of the most amazing comebacks.
Yeah, so that's
in
weekend's worst.
franchise
Number 2 there for the
history.
Penguins. That's a best for the Sharks. By the way,
Sharks
that
win.
announcer, kudos to that guy, because after listening to that highlight, I really, truly wanted to run through a wall and partly become a Sharks fan, because I could get down with that energy on a daily. The Penguins, your second weekend's worst. Your third, I saw this and I was like, dude, Jalen Brunson is ridiculous, but Pablo Banchero is your weekend's worst for his defensive ability.
Just for
Watch
Dwayne,
this
or we can't
crossover.
talk
I don't think we can either, but it was mainly for Dwayne.
Oh, Brunson with a highlight. Black takes a seat, and Jalen Brunson makes him
The
pay.
replay. Watch.
Spike Lee.
Oh, they don't show it right here. We'll go back to it. Don't you worry.
Ready?
Watch his face. He's looking at the ref. He's looking at the ref. Like there should have been a call there. Yeah, that's right. You
He's
are
got
a weekend's worst,
37 points.
Pablo. And by the way,
We have
Jalen Brunson.
51 seconds to go in the.
Man, if you want to watch somebody play basketball, and you're somebody that's like, I haven't seen a lot of basketball in my lifetime, I want to pick one person to go watch. I actually would recommend that man, because he is unbelievably enjoyable. And your final weekend's worst, yes, it does. It goes to Patty Mahomes, and not in a bad way, in a sad way. Disappointing that you have Patrick Mahomes. Not only, and this isn't disappointing for a lot of people, it is for me, though. I like watching the best, man. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, has been for the last decade. And it's one thing for them to not make the postseason. It's another thing for him to get himself hurt like that. So that is sad. That is a weekend's worst in its own right, because you just never want to see that. Same thing for Micah Parsons. You never want to see that. So Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs, they get my last weekend's worst. That is your weekend's worst. You got another weekend's worst. Please write it in, as we've said multiple times. YouTube.com/the Romanellas, Twitter X, Instagram, Facebook, The Rome Show, The Rome Show 1. Let's get to our weekend's when you play best. You're simply the best. Yeah, you are. And our number one, simply the best, goes to Heisman Trophy winner Fernando Mendoza, the former 2-star recruit who started his career at Cal, and finished his last two at Indiana. Well, career not over yet, as Indiana is the number 1 seed in the CFP coming up in a month and a half when they finally start the first round of it in March. No, I'm kidding, but seriously, that's ridiculous. Fernando Mendoza might be, this is not supposed to be a hot take. It's not even meant to be mean. Arguably one of the worst statistical Heisman Trophy winners in the history of the award. And I think his 2,980 total passing yards, 33 throwing touchdowns, 6 running touchdowns, 39 total touchdowns, is not necessarily a stat line that says, wow, this guy is the best football player in college football. And I think that is my issue with the Heisman Trophy Award. That's my problem with the Heisman Trophy Award. It is not handed out to the best football player in the country. It is handed out to somebody, arguably the best player on that team, that is one of the best teams in the country. And I think we need to reevaluate what the Heisman Trophy is then. Because I think if you look at statistics or impact on team or whatever other category you're mixing in the bowl to decide who this person is, I don't think that it should matter necessarily what school they're at comparative to what they do to earn that award. You looked at the last year's Heisman Trophy Award losers would have walked the floor of the Heisman Trophy this season. So for me, one argument would be, well, then there wasn't enough people, then good enough people. This is the best of the bunch. Or the other side of that argument is look deeper, look further. Were there players that were better? Probably. Were there dudes that threw more touchdowns, more yards, just as many interceptions, led his team to, if not 11, but 9 wins, a conference title, in the conference championship, that had numbers better than this? It doesn't matter if they play at Coastal Carolina or JMU or UConn. The Heisman Trophy is not that. To me, last night, it delegitimizes, and I've said this in the past, because of it being primarily a quarterback award. Like, at least give it to the dude at Notre Dame, the running back that was unbelievable. Give it to a wide receiver this year. It doesn't need to be given to a quarterback that threw for under 3,000 yards. He wasn't even top 5 in the country in that statistic. I don't care that he led his team to a 12-0 record. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at this award the wrong way. But I'm sure if you looked in the depths of college football from a defensive statistical standpoint, from a defensive play standpoint, from a defensive impact standpoint, from other position standpoint, I bet you'd find players that were better statistically than Fernando Mendoza, and probably had equal as much of an impact. But this is not to slander Mendoza for winning the award. Good for him. Congratulations. We made it a weekend's best for you. We think it matters. It just sheds a light. This entire 2025 trek to the postseason, through the postseason and their awards, has shined a light on college football at the highest level, that it's got problems. That there is flaws in this system that are glaring, and the people are going to be loud about them. And I don't think anything changes, because I don't think it needs to, because we're all still going to watch, and they're still going to make their billions, and we're all going to continue to drool over the decisions made on the NIL or the coaching decisions and all these other things. So they don't need to make a change. But God, would it be nice? Because there are so many things that are painful at the highest level of college football that I think would also make it more enjoyable. Your second weekend's best goes to this play out of Kyle Van Noy of the Baltimore Ravens, and Alohi Gilman. Check this out.
Who is in one-on-one situation. Burrow again kind of stumbles, and he's intercepted. Picked off by Van Noy. Then the handoff, it's Gilman, and Gilman is going to score.
And you play
as
battle.
The Ravens look for the knockout punch.
Oh, yeah,
95 yards.
Just watch that one more time. You ever seen an interception like this?
One-on-one situation.
First off, Joe Burrow
kind of stumbles, and he's intercepted.
And then
picked off by Van Noy. Then the handoff, it's Gilman, and Gilman is going to score.
You're making it, though. And that is
as the Ravens
the best.
Look
dude.
for the knockout punch
right there. That's
95
awesome play.
yards.
You don't see that often. We got another one for you here. How about Stephon Curry, who is ridiculous, okay? Because it's not just that he can drain threes from literally everywhere on the floor. It's not just that. No, ladies and gentlemen. But he does things that you've never seen before. Check out this shot that Steph Curry made pregame to be a weekend's best for us. From the tunnel. Where's he shooting? You think it's the close rim? Nope. All the way down the floor. Bang! Are you serious? Are you serious? Watch it one more time. That's not AI, ladies and gentlemen. That's a legitimate basket. Steph Curry, dude, is absolutely ridiculous. Enjoy that man for as long as he has left in the league, because when Steph Curry leaves the National Basketball Association, I truly believe their entertainment value, their viewership, it's going to go down. He's not just from a play standpoint, the most entertaining player in the National Basketball Association, but from a personality standpoint, from a character standpoint, from a fanship standpoint. Steph Curry is the best player in the National Basketball Association from the holistic standpoint. And for the brand, too. Just what he brings to the NBA. Again, like we said earlier, a player you could only go watch one. I threw Jalen Brunson out there. Steph Curry, obviously. And I think he's been the face of the NBA for the last 15 years. And I think the NBA is going to take a hit when he eventually retires. Enjoy the rest of Curry's career while you can. Shout out to the Spurs, by the way, as a side weekend's best. They defeated the OKC Thunder. They're headed to the NBA Cup Finals, and they ended the Thunder's 16-game winning streak. Wemby came back from a 13-game hiatus. So that was a win-win on both sides for the Spurs. Your final weekend's best, though the New Jersey Devils lost this hockey game. I saw this play, and I was like, bro, this was sick. I need you to watch this. Here is your final weekend's best.
Mercer waits it out, drives on his backhand.
2, 3, buckets. And Luke Hughes says to the Vancouver Canucks, you should have traded my other brother Quinn to us so all three of us could have been together, but you didn't. So here's a biscuit in the back of your basket. Spin around, drop pass, top right cheddar. What a great play there by the New Jersey Devils. They round out our weekend's best for the people. Like I said, Instagram, The Rome Show 1, Twitter X, The Rome Show 1, and youtube.com/The Romanellas. It is believed. Excuse me, read that wrong. Rocky writes back in, he believes the Rams could be the Super Bowl winner this year. I think that is a great team to put your bananas on. Quick commercial break, not long. When we come back, we finish the show with a little bit of a preview on Monday Night Football. The Steelers, they're favored by 3 points at home, snowy home in Pittsburgh, against the Miami Dolphins, who are still hanging on by a thread, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. We break it down here on The Rome Show, Monday, December 15th. Be back after this.
Thank you for listening.
What is one thing every great leader has in common? They challenge their people to not stop at the first right answer. Tighten the Lug Nuts is a leadership book that will teach you how to move past the first right answer with entertaining and detailed examples founded in real-world concepts and experiences. Accelerate towards your professional goals with Tighten the Lug Nuts, one of the best leadership books available.
Yeah. Rome Show. Broadcasting live on youtube.com/the Romanellas. I say it all the time. Head to youtube.com/the Romanellas. Hit subscribe. We got some great content coming out for the people. Juliana Moves. You can follow her on Instagram there, but we repost that content on YouTube because it's very enjoyable. Newly appointed Pilates instructor, my fiance, and showing you the ridiculous things that she can do. Very impressive. Juliana Moves. The Romanellas on YouTube. Any way to get it. The Rome Show 1, Twitter X, Instagram, all the places. Let's get you ready for Monday Night Football tonight. The Dolphins, they square off against the Steelers. Steelers favored in this contest by 3 points, over under in this jaunt, 42.5. I think a lot of this is led by the fact that it was snowing a lot. Now, the Dolphins went through their practices over the weekend in the snow. Okay. That does not mean now that all of a sudden the Miami Dolphins are going to be able to play football in the snow. This is historically a team that has not been very good in the snow, but thankfully they were in New Jersey last week playing the New York Jets, and it was significantly colder. I think it was actually possibly feeling like below freezing during that game, which is exactly what the Dolphins needed. Now, we said it before. We'll tell you again. The Dolphins, they started this year at 1-6. They're currently sitting at 6-7 because of winning 5 of their last 6, including 4 in a row. Now, that 4-row win streak started with a defeat against the Buffalo Bills. That was the only team over 500 on that 4-game winning streak the Dolphins have played. Take that for what it is. This, however, is uber important. Their Dolphins defense in the last 6 games, okay, the biggest question mark in the first half of the season, has only given up 15.2 points per game to their opponents. Okay. In the first 7 games of the season, that same defense was giving up 29.3 points per game, a difference of 14 points per game. That is gigantic. When it comes to an offense that is not uber explosive, you're not getting 35-40 out of this offense. You need the defense to keep teams to a reasonable number. That 15.2 over the last 6 games would be that reasonable number. Now, on the flip side, the Pittsburgh Steelers are not that good at anything. It's the truth. Led by Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf, there's not really a running game here. There's not an insanely explosive pass game, though. DK Metcalf has the ability to go off and play as if he is the best receiver in the game. TJ Watt, prayers to him, because of what happened. I believe it was a lung. He was getting a procedure done in the training room on Wednesday, and something happened with the lung. And so now he is not playing tonight because he had to get something done there. Prayers to him. But that's a hit. That's a hit on this Steelers team. Now they're at home. Advantage there. They're in the snow. Advantage there. They're playing a team from Miami. And I do believe of the two teams, maybe if it's 100% is the number I'm using, the Steelers are at 51% and the Dolphins are 49%. Like, I think it's close. That's why I believe this is a 3-point game. This is why I believe it's a field goal favorite for the Steelers. This is partly fanship, but I think more so belief, actually. I have been saying this from the jump. The minute the Dolphins went 2-6, then they went 3-6, then they went 4-6 or whatever it was. I've been saying it. This is the exact same thing is going to happen. They're going to get to the last few weeks. They're going to have a chance. They're going to control their own destiny, and they're going to lose. And they're going to get us all excited for 5-6 weeks, and then they're going to break our hearts again. And I don't want that to happen. Do I still slightly believe it? Kind of. But I don't think it's this week. I don't think this Steelers team is so good that the Dolphins can't win this football game on Monday night. And I know all the statistics. I know all the Steelers are like Mike Tomlin's like 22-0 on Monday Night Football, like in prime time. Tomlin that's the guy. He gets it. He knows how to do it. This is the team that wins in prime time. But that doesn't last forever. And someone can knock them off. And the Dolphins have that little ability to win random big games against teams. I mean, that's been the case of Mike McDaniel's career as the head coach. Heck, you could date back to other head coaches. Remember the Rob Gronkowski was out there for the Hail Mary, the Dolphins win game? That's when the Patriots were still kind of good. Like the Dolphins have always, every year, had the ability to like win that 1 or 2 games that they really have no business winning. Tonight would be one of those. 4 weeks ago against the Buffalo Bills, one of those games. Tonight, if they take down the Steelers, is one of those games. Much like they have the propensity to lose the games you don't expect them to, they can win a few that they shouldn't. And I think tonight they can do that. So give me the Miami Dolphins at the +3 and on the banana line. I guess that kind of be the same thing with that line, but either way, I want to put my stamp on the fact that I believe in them. Okay? Dolphins +3. That's where I am putting my bananas tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a fantastic rest of your Monday. We hope this got your day started the right way. Must I say, I hope it's electric. Andrew Romanella. See you tomorrow, 7:05. Rocky Romanella joins the show. That's awesome. Peace!